Well, staying with Nigerian news, the Court of Appeal has reserved judgment to decide on the case by Governor Adeleke challenging the decision of an election petition tribunal which nullified his victory in the Osun governorship election. Now, a three-member panel headed by Justice Mohammed Shuabi fixed the date to decide on the matter after taking the argument and adopting the briefs of all parties in the suit. Adeleke, who is a candidate of the People's Democratic Party, had won the said election held on July the 16th, 2022, the result which was nullified on grounds of overvoting. Arise correspondent Godfrey Eshiemoghie has been tracking the legal proceedings, now joins us for the situation report. Godfrey, good day. Welcome to Newsday. Just give us an update of what you witnessed in the court today.
Yes, good afternoon. Well, the fireworks following the tribunal decision of January 27th, which nullified the elections of Adeleke, after his election on July 16th, as of course being started as it is. Now the court has reserved judgment. A three-member panel of the appeal court has reserved judgment, which will be announced, which will be, the dates to be announced to all parties in the suit. But one key point that came up at today's proceeding is the fact that the PDP has remained on the point that only 6 polling units had recorded over voting, whereas the APC through its counsel, Lateef Fagbemi, says over 700 polling units recorded over voting, which of course is enough ground for the tribunal to nullify the election of Adeleke. So in the case of in a point made by the PDP counsel, Onyechi Piazu, he said the PDP, that said the APC's case against the election doesn't hold much water because the allegation of overvoting beyond 6 polling units wasn't true. And then, of course, the matter, couldn't even go ahead in the first place on grounds of the all counsels in the suit not filing their processes right. That was how the matter started. The matter began with all parties not filing their process right, and the court drew the attention of the counsel, all senior advocates of Nigeria, that they filed their briefs without adhering to the practice direction of the court with regards to making sure their briefs were in 2-line spacing and the font size were legible enough. So that was how the matter started, today. And of course, they've now adjourned to a date that they're going to, deliver judgment on this much anticipated case regarding the Osun governorship election to decide who indeed actually won the elections.
Thank you, Godfrey. Can you give us a sense of what it was like in the court? Did you sense a lot of frustration or anticipation while you were there?
Well, there's not much frustration as it is. It's the normal, way to have a court proceeding where all the supporters will be present to give their support, moral backing to the legal counsels who are there to make case for their, clients, as it were. Of course, the party supporters were there in their numbers. In fact, the court was packed full ahead of hearing on the matter. Of course, there is tension because there's so much tied to this case. There's so much tied to this case with respect to the APC trying to prove their case that the election was flawed, as it were, on grounds of overvoting from the part of the APC. But of course, the PDP too, on their own part, have stood their grounds to defend their mandate, insisting that there was no wrongdoing on their part with regards to whether or not there was overvoting. Ikpeazu insisted that there was no logical explanation to give a reason to believe that there was overvoting in this context. But of course, the PDP has stood their grounds, whereas the APC has continually insisted there was overvoting. Of course, the mood is quite tense right here. The supporters are behind their clients, are behind their various politics to ensure their cases get to the logical conclusion at the end of today's proceeding. Of course, there are going to be 4 appeals to be heard today. So we've just had the first one, which is that of Adeleke against Oyetola, the APC, and the PDP, and of course INEC in the suit. Of course, that one has been done and dusted as it is. So the other ones are right now ongoing, and of course we are also going to keep tabs of that one to know where the pendulum will swing at the end of the proceeding today and subsequently when the judgment will be delivered in the days to come.
Thank you, Godfrey. Now, very quickly before you go, I know we're not yet privy to the actual arguments of the opposition presidential candidates who are also taking the same route with regards to the presidential election. But based on what you're witnessing in the courtroom currently, how representative do you think this case is in light of what we're about to witness with the presidential challenges to the presidential election results?
It is going to be a very, 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 very heated time in the courtroom when the presidential appeals will be heard at the Code of Conduct Tribunal, at the Election Tribunal. Of course, we have Lateef Fagbemi, all the big wigs, the SANs you can think of, the big names you can think of. So there's just an array of them today. Just gives you a hint of what is to come. But of course, this is more like an offshoot of what is to come. Of course, so once the presidential election comes, of course, it's going to have more fireworks with more SAN, senior advocates for Nigeria, coming to represent their clients, about 80 or thereabouts. But then we have a few of them here today for Osun. This is more like a prelude to what is to come later when the presidential appeals will be heard.
Arise correspondent Godfrey Eshiemoghie, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday. We appreciate your time.